Hey there, welcome to 4-Minute Friday, and this week's sales tip is about objection handling and specifically about how to handle or even eliminate the price objection. Now, before I do that, very quick introduction in case the first time you've come across me. My name is Brian Conway. I'm the creator of Top Line Transformation. That's what I do. I help businesses, salespeople, company owners grow their top line, make more sales. And this is 4-Minute Friday, where I share on a Friday in just a few minutes, ideally, a tip, strategy, or tactic, or something that you can implement next week that'll help you close more business. And as I said, this week I want to talk about objection handling, specifically around the objection of price. Now, I'm going to do this by telling a little story. So in some of the sales classes that I run, and one in particular that I'm running at the moment for a big tech company whose name you would definitely recognize, around negotiation skills, I often open the class by trying to sell them my phone, okay? And I tell them it's for sale. So think about this, right? I'm trying to sell you perhaps my phone. And what I'm looking for is $6,000. Really? I hear you say. £6,000. I mean, it's only 2 years old. It's got a lot of feature and functionality. Screen's still perfect. The camera's very good. There's still a lot of storage, etc. on there. For $6,000, you probably think I'm crazy. Why would anybody buy a phone brand new, let alone secondhand, for $6,000? So let me reframe the sale, so to speak. On this phone, imagine I've got 50 contacts who I have and to all of them I have sent a quote, and they're all practically ready to buy. They're at that point of purchase. I just need to follow up and make 50 phone calls. But let's say we work for the same company and I'm leaving the business, and therefore, as of today, being Friday, I no longer work here, and therefore will not be able to close that business or have no value in doing so. So I want to hand this phone and these opportunities over to a colleague of mine. Let's say that's you. Now I'm saying for $6,000, you could buy average order value, 100K, times 50 potential customers, 5 million. There's £5 million worth of opportunity there. Let's say you only close 20%. I would typically close 40, that's 2 million. Maybe you don't know these customers as well as I do. They still want to buy. You're probably going to, as a minimum, close $1 million worth or £1 million worth of business. So now a $6,000 investment for $1 million worth of your sales quota, or being retired, or your top line growth. Now you can see there's real value in that. Would you now be concerned about price? Okay, you may say, well, what if they don't buy and all that sort of stuff? Or how do I know it's not a scam? Just bear with me, okay? Assuming I'm not trying to rip you off. I'm a work colleague. I work with you, have done for the last 5 years. We know each other, okay? Go with the scenario. But it's a very different mindset now, isn't it? Now, initially you thought $6,000 for a phone, behave, you're mental. I'm not. Now I'm talking about the value of the data and the information and the sales opportunities, and more importantly, the revenue and the ability to retire a sales quota. That is what I'm selling. So all you've got to do is next week, 10 calls a day for 5 days. Who wouldn't do that? You close 20%, you bring in $1 million worth of business. That's the difference. That's how you eliminate the price objection. You're selling the value. People buy value. They don't buy your product or service. They buy the outcome. When they're objecting from a price perspective, they are objecting against the product or the service that you sell, or the comparison of that to somebody else. When you sell the value, now they're not objecting around the price. They're just analyzing the quality or the return, the value that they're going to get from the investment that they make. $6,000 investment, $1 million return, multi-$1,000% ROI. It just becomes a no-brainer. Now that's kind of a bit extreme, and I'll kind of use it as a bit of fun here, but I want you to realize there's such an important message in that people are buying the outcome that you sell, not the product or service that delivers that outcome. And that's the key. When you can focus on that outcome and you can make that incredible and as large as possible, particularly when compared to the investment, now it doesn't become a price objection or a price problem anymore. It just becomes a funding problem. How we're going to make the funds. And there's always funds available. They'll borrow the money if need be. They'll move money around in their business. They'll prioritize your investment potentially over other investments. So eliminate that price objection by focusing on the value, not the product and its feature and functionality, but the outcome that it delivers either to their business or to them as an individual if you're selling to a more, in a more B2C type environment. I trust you found that useful. It's a very different mindset and it makes you focus on a very different part of the sales conversation. Not your product, focus on the customer, their needs, their outcomes, their desires, and that's where the value will be realized, and that's when the price consideration starts to diminish, and it's more about how soon can we start to realize that value rather than let me think about the price. Okay, hope you found that useful. Please do like, share, comment, etc. Always appreciated. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, etc. This has been 4 Minute Friday. I'm Brian Conway. Have a great weekend, and more importantly, think about that in your sales activity next week, and I hope you close more business. Take care.